What's up, guys? Lance the Obscure Movie Guy coming to you once again with another fun-filled, fact-filled video that you probably won't care about, but we're going to do it anyways, trying to change the world one post at a time. And as you can tell from our intro, yes, today's video is going to be once again done in conjunction with Indie Horror Junkie. So be sure to go check them out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Check out their podcast. They have a new episode every Wednesday night. And be sure to sign up for the Indie Horror Junkie Film Festival for 2026. Submissions are now live if you want to get your movies in to the film festival. Be sure to look them up. Go to filmfreeway.com for all the details on that. Now let's dive into today's video and check out the Cannibal Comedian.
Everybody give a round of applause for Charlie the Cannibal Comedian.
Hey, how we all doing tonight? Good. So, I was out with this girl last night. She wasn't too pretty on the outside, but as I say...
What are you gonna do to me?
It's her insides that count, right?
What is this?
Exactly what...
What's going on?
Not funny!
Stop! I want my money back.
I need to reevaluate my career.
You're never gonna amount to anything.
I'm a stand-up comedian, damn it.
Hilarious! Ha 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 ha! Oh, it's so funny! You're one note!
You should be paying me to be here. Encore! Come on!
Now, Cannibal Comedian was a collaboration between Cineverse and the streaming service Screambox, and they got together with writer and director Sean Heights to put it together. And filming was completed in 2023, started making the rounds in 2024, and as of late 2024, actually got up to number 2 on the top 10 list for the Screambox streaming service, and for very good reason. This movie is well thought out, well written as far as the storyline and the dialogue goes. It's well executed. There's very little production quality issues. There's actually no audio issues. There's really no production quality issues, and there's really no continuity issues. So what you find here, again, much like I talked about with Screamboat, is you find a film that is, as silly as it is, from a fundamental standpoint, it is damn near perfect. As far as the story goes, I'm pretty sure this is everything that Sean Heights had in mind. The way it was put together, the way it was executed, it told the story that it wanted to tell. Well-written characters with very good character arcs, especially Charlie, and we'll dive into that in a minute. So the reason it got to number 2 is for all of those good reasons. It's actually a pretty good movie. But let's dive into Cannibal Comedian and find out a little bit more about the plot and the characters. So to summarize the plot as best I can, you have Charlie, who lives on the edge of town out in a rural area in the desert, and him and his friends are cannibals, and he is often left in charge of doing the catching, killing, and cooking of said humans, victims, if you will, for his friends. And oftentimes he finds himself trying to put on some sort of comedic bit to his victims while he kills them and cooks them. And then one day he does come across a young lady named Crystal, played by Austin Judd, who he kidnaps with the intent of killing her, but finds out that she is also on her way into town to do a musical gig. So it kind of starts sympathizing with her a little bit and bouncing ideas off of her as to how to get into this, performing routine. How do you go in front of people to do this? What's your secrets? How do you make it work? And these are things that he kind of uses to try and make that, stride into becoming a comedian. The other thing is that there's an open mic night at a local comedy club called the Funny Pit, which is run by a guy named Carrie. That's played by Robert Dune. And so Charlie goes and starts doing these open mic nights with some of the advice that he gets from, his kidnappee, Crystal, and starts killing it on stage, not just in real life. Charlie's real life. Aaron Prager's not a killer. I just want to make that clear. But he starts killing it on stage, and he starts doing so well through these open mic nights that the owner, Carrie, starts not letting him do it kind of doesn't give him any more time to go up there, and actually starts stealing Charlie's bit as the cannibal comedian, because Carrie himself was a struggling comedian as well. Now, if anybody who knows anything about stand-up comedy, this is a very, very taboo thing, is to take jokes from other comedians. And one of the nuances that you'll run into with this is that as you're watching this film, you almost, for me, I sympathize with Charlie more as the comedian than I do as the cannibal. So what you have is this weird sensation of, you're very upset about Carrie stealing his bit. You're like, that's taboo. You can't do that. But you don't mind the fact that he's killing and eating people. It's very, very weird. So obviously with Carrie stealing his jokes, that upsets Charlie very much, and he tries to seek his revenge in the only way he knows how. So, Charlie's the character arc for Charlie is super interesting, because he's written very well as, he's this cannibal. He's good at killing. He enjoys killing. It doesn't seem to bother him that much that, that's what he does on a normal basis. But he's, got this, it's weird to see a cannibal like that and then have like these everyday type, struggles with trying to be a performer. He's got stage fright. He doesn't think he's good enough. He's not sure if his jokes are good enough. He even gets heckled at one point on stage pretty badly at one point early on in the movie. And there was a really interesting scene at the bar when he's done dealing with that heckling, where he's talking to another bar patron, somebody else that had bombed on stage as well, that, it's a predator and prey type thing. When you're up there, you're almost the prey and the hecklers are the predators, which is kind of a nice flip of the script, because he's usually the predatory person in his everyday life, preying on victims and killing them. So it was a nice, again, it's another little nuance that you pick up on that was written very well into the script. Other things that worked well were the jokes themselves. The movie is full of puns and one-liners, play on words, and even fourth wall breaks that work very, very well, because they're all in relation to this cannibal comedian bit. His bit is the fact that he goes up there and just speaks about his life that people aren't taking seriously, but he's making these cannibalistic jokes, which work amazingly well. You wouldn't think that there's that many cannibal jokes out there, but there's so many puns and one-liners and play on words that it just works really well as a part of the bit. And another great thing that if you watch closely enough, you'll pick up on some, not just play on words, but like a play on comedy itself in some instances. There's a great scene between him and one of his neighbors, as it would be, that's a very much a Jerry Seinfeld, reference, not just in the whole scene itself is very good. The way Charlie is reading the paper, drinking from a coffee mug. Obviously, they do the little, guitar bit at the end when it makes, he makes a one-liner. They do the guitar bit like if anybody's ever seen a Seinfeld episode. But that whole scene is a reference to that, not just the little guitar bit and the one-liner. The way he's reading the paper, the way he's drinking the coffee, it's all to emulate scenes from Seinfeld itself. And there's a few of those instances throughout the course of the movie that were written in very well and very cleverly. Now, from a horror standpoint, again, if you like the horror and you like blood, guts, and gore, well, this is also going to be a movie for you, because there's a lot of that as well. He's a cannibal. He wears the leather apron. He's got the mask. He kind of looks like, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He carries around an axe. So there's a lot of great tropes that are used in the horror aspect of this film as well, even though there's no really, it's more comedy than it is horror. There's not really any jump scares or anything like that, but there is some pretty gruesome killings. There is some eating of meat. And then obviously you have the captive Crystal, who gives a nice little twist at the end of the film after being held captive by Charlie for so long. So all in all, like I said before, this is a very good movie. It's very well written. It's an original story idea. Great character arcs, good pacing, no production quality issues, executed very, very well. 8 out of 10 easily all day long. You're going to have a good time if you like horror with this film. You're going to have a good time if you like comedy with this film. Now, it is available on Screambox to stream. You can also go to ScreamTeamReleasing.com to buy a hard copy. It is available digital media on Blu-ray, and I highly recommend you go get the Blu-ray because the Blu-ray has got like 6 hours of extras, behind-the-scenes stuff. It's even got a mini documentary on the making of the film. And one of the cool aspects that I did like about the extras is that one of the things that gets overlooked a little bit, I think, in the film, but not necessarily in real life. The open mic night, they actually had real comedians come in to do actual sets for the open mic scenes. And even though they only ran maybe, a few seconds or a minute or two on some of their bits, in the extras, you actually get to see these comedians' full bits. Whether it was 10 minutes, 20 minutes, they got everything on the extras in the Blu-ray. So go check that out. Look up Cannibal Comedian, like, subscribe, and comment to their channel. Go to Screambox, go to Scream Team Releasing to get the Blu-ray. Like, subscribe, and comment to my channel. Check me out on Facebook. You can now check me out on Instagram as well. Follow along for more, and I'll see everybody in the next video.